Welcome to the Line Hall Playbook. I'm your host, Emily Blair. Joining me in my virtual studio today is Joel Tovi of Robertson Ryan Insurance. Let's go ahead and move on to the EPLI. And tell me to start, what does EPLI stand for?
Sure. So employment practices liability, I think they started requiring them, if memory serves me correctly, back in 23 in January. That was when they wanted all of the contractors to get EPLI policies. Now, in my opinion, it's probably one of the most cost-effective policies because EPLI compared to workers' comp and trucks, it's very, very inexpensive. And with how litigious people are nowadays, it covers wrongful termination, sexual harassment, any number of things that someone could say happened to them while they're working for a contractor. And so it's a very good coverage to have because these claims do happen. And a little gold nugget is that most of the EPLI carriers, they have an 800 number. So if you have something, if you're out on the belt in the morning or your trucks are getting dispatched and you hear a conversation or your BC hears a conversation, if you pick up the phone, you can call this 800 number for the vast majority of these EPLI carriers. And they'll have someone that can advise you and talk to you and say, what did you hear? What did this person say? What did that person say? Well, here are some suggestions. I want contractors to know that and understand that there are resources out there for EPLI. And, another thing to keep in mind is that situations like that, if people are proactive about them and something does get started, maybe they can head it off. Maybe they can keep it from becoming a much bigger deal. So that's something to think about.
Yeah, that is a great tip. So let me just clarify with that hotline that you call, this is not a claim. You're not filing a claim for anything. You actually just have people that you can call for help.
Correct. Yes. And they can advise on the best ways to navigate that situation. So, and you have to think about it like they work on an EPLI team. They know the nuanced rules from state to state because that's something to keep in mind, especially with this type of thing, harassment claims and things like that. There are some states where things are handled very, very differently than other states. And so it would be good to talk with somebody that understands those nuanced state laws because they can look it up right then and there.
That's a fantastic tip. And where do you find those resources? Is it just going to be available to you on your state page or on your insurance declarations page?
Just ask your agent. And your agent will be able to give you that information. They'll be able to give you that phone number. And honestly, most agents would be able to help somebody navigate through that. But if they have something, very, very specific, and they want to talk to the carrier about it, the carriers have those resources available as well.
That's awesome. And with the EPLI, obviously that's going to be tied very closely to your employee handbook. In your experience, is there anything that you want to offer as a recommendation to be sure that you've got in your handbook based on what you've seen coming in for claims?
Sure, absolutely. I would include the names of who a driver is expected to reach out to if they have an accident, if there is an injury, just so they have those resources right there in front of them, because it's plausible that a driver with an injury, depending on what their motivations may be, they may say, I didn't get these resources. Nobody told me who to call. And if you have it in the employee handbook, you can put a picture of me in there with a big smile, call Joel, he'll take care of you. So those are things that I would say would be important to put in the employee handbook. I mean, put actual phone numbers and contact information in there. So your bases are covered and your driver is protected and they have what they need. That's
Yeah,
important.
that's a great tip. And I almost thought when you started talking, I'm like, what are you talking about, Joel? We're talking about EPLI. Where are you
Mhm.
going with the case of an accident? And I'm like, oh gosh, now they're going to take this accident and turn it into another reason to sue you. That's kind of
Yes,
terrifying.
yes, yeah. So it's there are a lot of things to navigate when you're dealing with a claim. And the best thing is to always reach out to your agent with any questions. The good ones. We work realtor hours. You know what I mean? If it's on the weekend and somebody wants to add some trucks and they have some questions, my phone will ring. So it's an important resource. Always remember that your agent should be available to answer any questions that you may have. So.
Absolutely. Well, Joel, thank you so much for your time today. Is there any other nuggets of advice you want to give our audience before we go?
If anybody has any like just general insurance questions, or they're thinking about making a change this year or next, and they want to know how it could impact their policies or whether it wouldn't impact their policies, I'm an open resource to anybody in the network that wants to reach out with questions. So I would be happy to do that.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'll be sure to put your contact information in the description of the video. Everyone,
Awesome.
please like, subscribe, spread the word as we get these content videos going. And Joel, thank you so much for
Of
joining me
course.
today.
My pleasure.